Matt Brown and Jonathan Von Tobel here in Las Vegas. Storm Bontoni on the road down at TPC Scottsdale, and she's got somebody famous on the desk with her.
Yeah, I told you we would
Who's
get
here?
some special guests on here. Wow. Mike Golic, Sr., so fortunate to have you with us. Obviously doing great work with DraftKings as well as calling the NFL with Westwood One. You were just on the air last night for Sunday Night Football.
I was, and it was a good game for a while in Dallas, 21-19 going into the fourth quarter, and then 33 points later, it was an absolute blowout. So Cowboys look good. Cowboys are, it's about peaking at the right time, and they're certainly on that road.
That doesn't sound great for my 49ers when it comes to the NFC, but we will get to that in a moment. Let's discuss why we are out here today. And obviously, you're a local. You live here in Scottsdale, but the groundbreaking for the TPC Scottsdale DraftKings Sportsbook coming together in your backyard. How cool is this?
It is, and I live, like 10 minutes from here, 6 months out of the year. I have a place at Notre Dame. I live at the other 6 months. Wherever the good weather is, that's where I go.
Smart.
I was just over at the groundbreaking there. Wow, 12,000 square feet, standalone. I mean, at the TPC here, you couldn't ask for a better spot. It is going to be awesome. My house is, as I said, 10 minutes from here. I will be the guy stuffing wings in my face and betting on Notre Dame.
There we go.
When I'm sitting in there, so I can't wait for this to open up.
Speaking of which, you like that Gator Bowl matchup with South Carolina?
The only reason I like that, I'd always love them to be obviously in the playoffs of the New Year's Six Bowl. The good thing here is good friends with Darius Rucker, who is a South Carolina alum, and I can take some more money from him in a bet.
I was going to say, you guys got to have some sort of a friendly wager going.
The last time we had a bet, the South Carolina women's basketball team and Notre Dame women's were in the Final Four playing one another. If South Carolina won, he would host my show. I was still doing the ESPN show then. If Notre Dame won, I got to sing a song on stage at one of his concerts. And Notre Dame won. So I actually went.
What'd you sing?
I sang Take It Easy by the Eagles. The thing he said to me, he says, you can sing a song at my concert. The only thing you can't sing any of my songs.
So no wagon wheel for you.
Why can't I sing? He goes, I don't want you butchering my song. I'm like, oh, seriously, dude?
He's really just afraid you were going to upstage him.
Exactly
I think that's the truth.
So he had to sing the Notre Dame fight song. He had to put on a Notre Dame jersey that I got him. He had to sing the fight song, and then I sang a song. And let me tell you what, I mean, I got to play in front of 80, 100,000 people playing football, but, you're out there with a team and such. When you're the only one standing up there, what a rush that is. I mean, I've always said athletes want to be entertainers. Entertainers always want to be athletes. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. What a cool moment.
It's a great moment.
When it comes to the sports book here, though, how much have you just seen sports betting grow in general over your time, that this is something that's real and is happening at a PGA Tour site?
To be able to have the brick and mortar and just have it there and have a place for, I mean, listen, when you get to the big events, people from here or in area would like fly to Vegas because that's where you went, to sit in their sports book or whatever. Well, now DraftKings is making it easy. Stay right here. We have an incredible facility for you year-round. And, you sit in like any sports book, do your betting. You have a great menu. You can play golf, either go in there before or after. I mean, it's the perfect setting for it right now. And this is the era we're in. My sport of football in the NFL, how long did they fight the gambling aspect of this until you realize, hell, everybody's doing it anyway. Let's find a way to after legalizing it, then monetizing it. And listen, DraftKings has been right at the forefront of doing that. So it's fantastic. And I think the biggest thing we have to grow on in this country is in-game betting. I know that's still a low percentage, and I know in Europe it's a lot higher percentage of in-game betting. And we have the sports to do it with football and baseball and basketball to do that in-game betting. So it's a ball. I can't wait to get in there.
Absolutely. It's going to be awesome. Looking toward 2023 for this thing to actually be up and running and functional. And when the Waste Management Phoenix Open is here, it's going to be phenomenal.
Man, I love that tournament. And I could never go because I was always working the Super Bowl. So now I get to be here because the Super Bowl is going to be out here as well. I love that 16th hole at the WM Phoenix Open. And I have always said, any golfer that doesn't get into it, I want nothing to do with them. Enjoy one Happy Gilmore hole. Just have fun with it. If you get booed, you get booed, and just move on to the next hole.
It's awesome. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to see every year, and it's a bucket list. So hopefully I do actually get to show up for one of the tournaments when it comes around again. It's a bucket list, like I said. But let's talk a little bit of football.
Right.
We were talking off camera before we started about my San Francisco 49ers catching such a bad break. Jimmy Garoppolo breaks his ankle. He's going to have season-ending surgery. And Brock Purdy steps in, former Iowa State quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant in the draft. Very relevant all of a sudden. Are the 49ers done now with this happening?
I still think they can get into the playoffs because, right now they're ahead of Seattle, and they've already beat Seattle once this year. So I think they have a good chance to get in. As I think, you may only get a division winner from the NFC West because of the way the NFC East is playing. You may get that whole division in the playoffs. I have been saying that I don't know if there is a deeper offensive talented team in the NFL than in San Francisco. But then Elijah Moore goes down after he comes back from being on IR. He goes back on IR. That hurt him. And now Jimmy going, done for the season. That really hurts. But their defense, when your defense is as great as theirs is, you're always in the game. Brock Purdy, I covered at Iowa State. I think he had like 32 school records there and such. I don't know if he'll stay the quarterback. I know Baker Mayfield got cut from Carolina. He may be the quarterback. If I were, and I just covered them, the backup with Indianapolis is Nick Foles. If I were Nick Foles, I would go to them and say, listen, we're out of the playoffs here. I'm not the quarterback of the future of the Indianapolis Colts. They're probably, if I were them, I'd go to Sam Ehlinger and see if he's going to be the guy. I would ask for my release. I'd obviously, behind closed doors, have my agent be contacting San Fran and say, listen, if I come available, will you sign me there? We've seen Nick Foles fill in and do pretty well, in Philadelphia. So that's kind of, if I were him, I would be talking to my agent and seeing what you could work out. And then if San Francisco would take him, go into management with the Colts and say, I'm really not going to be the guy here this year or in the future. Can you just release me?
That's a really interesting discussion point. Baker Mayfield, by the way, at DraftKings is 2-1, the favorite to go to the San Francisco 49ers. Do you think that that's an upgrade, though? Is
for
my
Brock
issue?
Purdy? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He's just struggled so much with Carolina.
He has, but I still think, Brock Purdy's young. He's going to make young mistakes. So I do think Baker's better than that. Baker tries to create, a little playground plays, sometimes a little too much, and it can hurt the team, and then he gets nicked up a little bit as well. But if you're asking me, is the decision to go with Brock Purdy or Baker Mayfield, I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield in that case. And if Brock Purdy is the backup and knows the system and stuff, great. But if I'm Nick Foles, I mean, you're on a team now that's going nowhere, and you could end up with a team that could. I think that would be a great get.
And the 49ers obviously a team that are trying to make that Super Bowl push. So
they have the talent.
See. Yeah. Absolutely. I could talk to you all day, but they're telling me I got to shut up. So thank you for the time. I really, really appreciate you.
I appreciate it too. We'll have more time at some point. Maybe we'll hang out in the sports book.
Yes, sounds good. We'll send it back over to you though, Matt and JVT.